Finishing up the note sheet from yesterday, this is where we stopped. Two-prong venues charge a rental fee plus a fee per student. The table shows the total cost for different members of students at Lakeside Inn. The total cost Y in dollars for X students at Sunview Resort is represented by this equation. Sunview. So 10x plus 600. And we also have Lakeside Inn, which is represented by that table. Now, the problem asks two main questions. One, which charges less per student? And two, how many students must attend for the overall cost to be the same? Well, our slope, the slope of the line, is telling us how much they're charging per student. So Sunview Resort charges $10 per student. However, we don't know how much Lakeside is charging per student. So we do need to find the slope. So our slope would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So now we need a y value to plug in. What are the y values off the table? Yep, so which one? 1,500. Now its corresponding x value is 100. Now we just need to pick another one. Darley, give me one. $1,800. And its corresponding x value is 125. So it really doesn't matter which ones we pick. We just need to pick two of them. Now we can do this by hand. 1,500 minus 1,800 is negative 300. 100 minus 125 is going to be negative 25. Now our negative and negative divided by a negative would make a positive. So we're really looking at 300 divided by 25, which is 12. So that's telling us Lakeside Inn is charging $12 per student. And I'm just going to write this other equation on the board just so we have it. $12 per student. Almost. So, of these two here, Sunview or Lakeside, which one was charging less per student? Sunview. Because they charged $10 per student. So Sunview is cheaper per student. On your homework, you can just say Sunview, if that was what it was asking for, if this was a homework problem. It's asking for newspaper companies. Which one charges less per line? So that answered the first part of the question. The second part says, how many students must attend for the total cost to be the same? But for us to find this, we need both equations. We need the equation for Lakeside Inn. We have Sunview, we just don't have Lakeside Inn's equation. Now, our two equations was point slope and slope intercept. Now, we can use slope intercept if we know the y-intercept of the points given to us for Lakeside Inn. Unfortunately, we don't know the y-intercept. They didn't give us our 0, B point. So we have to use point slope. Now we know the slope is 12. Okay, like, give me a point. Give me one of the x values. Doesn't matter which. 125. And its corresponding y value is 1800. And now the reason it doesn't matter which point we pick is because all of these points, these x, y values are going to be on the line, yes? So they should all make the equation true, plugging in the x and y. The only way it wouldn't is if we plugged in 125 for x and 2400 for y. Those do not go together. It would give us an entirely different equation. Now at this point here, we just need to get y by itself. So the first thing we can do is distribute the 12. So we have y minus 1800 is equal to 12 times x is 12x. Now 12 times 125 is 1500. Then we would need to get y by itself, so we would add 1800 to both sides. On the left-hand side, the negative 1800 plus 1800 would become 0, giving us y by itself. Y is equal to 12x plus negative 1500 plus 1800 is positive 300. So we found the equation for Lakeside Inn. Now you don't have to write this underneath it, but I'm going to. Because the problem asks, at one point, or how many students must attend for Sunview and Lakeside be the same, cost the same amount, yes? X or Y, which variable represents our total cost? The Y does, yes? So for wanting the total cost to be the same, we're looking for where the Y values are the same, yes? And if those are going to be the same, it means that these two equations here have to be equal, yes? So that's all we have to do is we have to take the 12x plus 300 and set it equal to the 10x plus 600, because we're trying to find out what value of x will make these two equations be the same. Questions on this here? What would we do first to get x by itself? Yeah, we'll need to subtract the 300 and then subtract the 10x, yes. Now, what we do first here really doesn't matter, because we can subtract the 300, and on the left side, 300 minus 300 is 0, leaving us with 12x. So that's on the left-hand side. The right-hand side, we still have the 10x. 600 minus 300 is going to be plus 300.
Saber Haggard, Kelly McGar, Alan Duncan, Valeska Barajas, Kayla Blackbox, Madison Hancock, Leah Morrill, Hannah Wiggins.
So, and exactly. And then we would indeed subtract the 10x from both sides, because 12x minus 10x is going to be 2x equals 300. There's really that first step, subtracting 300 from both sides. Yes, that works. We can get x by itself. We're not quite done yet, but yes. We could have also subtracted 10x from both sides first. Or we could have subtracted 12x from both sides first. Or we could have subtracted 600 from both sides first. We just got to pick one of them. And then it kind of tells us what we have to do next. And then the last thing we have to do is divide both sides by 2, telling us x is equal to 150. So how many students Less than 10 for the cost to be the same. 150 students. Because if we look at this here, 10 times 150 plus 600 is 2100. 12 times 150 plus 300 is 2100. It's the same. Now, say we had 149 students plus 600. It'd be 2090. 12 times 149 plus 300 is 288. So at 150 students, it really doesn't matter which one we do. From a pure numbers point of view, if we have 149, it's cheaper to go to Lakeside, but $2 cheaper. So it really doesn't matter at that point. Not really. We'd have to get at least a decently far away from it before we even start, I would say, thinking differently between the two. Because there's only a $2 difference as per student. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because even if we said 160 students, 10 times 160 plus 600 is 2200. 12 times 160 plus 300. So even if we added 10 more students, we're still talking 20 bucks. I'd say at that point, there's not a huge difference between the two. Questions on this here? Questions on how we found the equation of line? Let's do one more. Maple Ridge charges a rental fee of $10 per student. The total cost is $1,900 for 140 students. Describe the number of students that must attend for the total cost at Maple Ridge to be less than the total cost at the other two venues. Well, the first thing we need to do is to find our equation for Maple Ridge. Now, they didn't give us a table, but they did tell us that they're charging $10 per student. So the slope is going to be 10. And they did give us a point. When 140 students attend, so 140 is our x, it costs $1,900. Now, just like we did before, we need to get y by itself. So we would distribute the 10, giving us 10x minus 1,400. Then we would add 1,900 to both sides. These would cancel, telling us y is equal to 10x plus 500. Take there we go. Here are two equations. The top one's for Sunview, the bottom one's for Lakeside, and then we'll say h of x. $100 for Maple. Our three equations. Yes? Now, wanting to know how many students would it take for Maple to be cheaper than the other two, yes? For Maple and Sunview, the cost per student is the same, yes? Which one costs more for just the rental fee? Sunview, isn't it? Because it's constant because it's costing us $600 just to rent the place. Maple is costing us how much just to rent it? $500, yes? And if the slopes are the same, is there at any point going to be a spot where Maple is going to be bigger or cost more than Sunview? No, because those two slopes are the same. If two lines have the same slope, they are parallel. So Maple is always going to be cheaper than Sunview. The only one that is currently lower or starts off lower is Lakeside. So really, to solve this, we have to take Lakeside's equation and set it equal to Maple. Because Lakeside's starting amount is 300. Maple's is 500. So Lakeside is starting out cheaper than Maple. But the cost per student, Lakeside is more per student. So at some point, it's going to catch up. And that's what we need to find out. Now, the first thing we can do is, well, like last time, subtract 300 from both sides. These would cancel, telling us that 12x is equal to 10x plus 200. Then we would subtract 10x from both sides, telling us that 2x is equal to 200. Last but not least, we would divide both sides by 2. Minus x is equal to 100. So we would need at least, what? Need more than 100 students for Maple to be cheaper. Because 100 students, they'd be the same. Can we agree on that? So what's the first value that we could have where Maple is cheaper for x? What's the first value of x we could have? Could x be 100.5? Would that work? What do y'all think? Yes, no, maybe? Could x be 100.5? What is x? X is representing what? Students. Can I have 100.5 students? No, you got to have whole number answers for students, yes? So the first one that would actually work is 101. We need at least 101 students. Questions on this here? Now we're going to go back to this. This here is your homework assignment. I'm going to stop.